Hello guys, join me as I edit my pictures from scratch to finish. So first thing first, I'll create a new layer by clicking on Ctrl J on the background layer. After I've done that, what I want to do next is to remove all the skin blemishes on the skin and also work on the hair, the strands in the hair, remove everything. And as I do that, I'm going to be I can use the clone stamp tool, you can use the patch tool, you can also use healing brush or spot healing brush tool. So I'm going to be using the spot healing brush tool because of its automatic, and that will do the job faster for me. So join me as we do that in a moment. So I'm going to be skipping this process because of the time, although the skin blemishes on these images are not that much. So I'm just going to take my time to do this, and this is a very important part of editing your picture. You have to make sure that you get your texture and your colors in the right order. So there's something about the spot healing tool is that Photoshop has done it in a way that most times is always very close to the same texture of the skin. Then if it doesn't work, you can always just use healing, clone stamp or patch tool to edit. So you can see how easy this was. Very easy, and the textures are still intact. Very easy. Well, okay. After you have removed the skin blemish, the next step is to work on the edge strands, especially if you have so many edge strands that are very noticeable. I'm going to still be using the spot healing brush because it does the work for me. So at this point, I need to use the clone stamp tool to have a better you have to make sure that the size is not too much, and you select a sample. So you alt click and select your sample. When you alt click and select your sample, then you can now you can see that it's showing the sample above the place that you want to use it on. So then you now click and drag it. Yes, and you do it nicely. Make sure that it's not too much. When you are done removing the blemishes on the skin and the strands in the hair, the next step should be frequency separation. To create two layers, one for the textures and one for the colors. So this one above is going to be for the textures. You can name it texture or high frequency, anyone. Then the second layer is going to be for the colors and the low frequency. Change it to low frequency or colors. So now let's hide this layer, and we click on filter, we go to blur, Gaussian blur, and I will bring this down. Let's look for where we can find. Okay, this is good. So this is okay. So let's work with 5. Yeah, so 5 is good. And let's move to the eye texture, because this is an 8-bit image. So we go to image, apply image, and we look for the layer. We're going to use low color because of we're separating the textures and the colors. So the blending mode is going to be set as subtract, and this is going to be 2, and this offset to be 128, and that is for 8-bit image. This is a proper settings for 8-bit image, and you click on OK. Now we have our image. We change the blend mode to linear light, and then we are good to go. So we merge these two layers together, Ctrl G, and I change this to frequency separation FS. That's good. And now we can now open this and this. Then we would select the brush, mixer brush. And now that we have selected the mixer brush, settings, wet 30, load 75, mix 90. That's my own personal setting, and my flow is on 15. Depending on your settings, you can always work around that. So we're going to brush over the skin. So as you are brushing over the skin, you are clicking and you are dragging. You are working with the colors. As you can see, I'm working with the colors. I'm trying to blend the colors properly. See the before and the after. Hold on, this is the before and the after. You can see what we just did there. So blend, properly blend, and make sure that we're not doing too much and we are not destroying the structure of the face. So whatever we're blending it with the structure of the face. You can see this right here. So make sure that we're not losing the natural structure of the image, so that will not make the picture look flat. After the frequency separation is done, the next step is to create the dodge and burn adjustment layer. The dodge and burn adjustment layer can be done in so many ways, and one of them is using the curves. So in order for us to use the curves, you go to the adjustment layer and you select the curves and you duplicate it, Ctrl J, because we are doing dodge and burn. So the first one, we're going to name it dodge, and the next one is going to be burn. So the idea of dodge and burn is simply to brighten and darken the face in strategic places where the light is bouncing on their faces, in order for it to give it more structure and to pop the structure of the face. In order for us to get old with dodge and burn, you double click on the adjustment part for the dodge and you increase the curve a little bit, and you close the bar and you invert the layer to black. So you hide them and you reveal only the parts that you want to be revealed. Then for the burn, you click on the adjustment part and reduce this a little bit, and then you invert the layer part, Ctrl I, and then let's merge both layers into a group and name them dodge and burn. That's good. So we have hidden, we cannot see anything unless we review them. So in order for you to know where exactly you want to dodge and burn, it's advisable for you to create another layer mask just above the dodge and burn inside the group, black and white, and you reduce the red. You can see there's a structure, the darker part are showing and the lighter part is showing too, and you reduce the yellow too. This is good in order for us to see where we want to dodge. And always turn off the frequency separation layer when you want to dodge and burn, so that you can see the way the original image is, in case you might have tampered with the structure and the shape of the image. So now we are back to the way the image was initially, and we're going to dodge and burn on it. So this is, let's start with the dodge. You click on the brush tool and you reduce your flow to 1 is fine, in order for you not to do too much. And then you begin to brighten the bright parts. So I'm going to do this. You click on them, you click on it, you paint over, you review that part, and then I'm going to let's see the before and the after. This is where it was before. You see, that's good. You don't need to do it too much, just do it when necessary. And this is good, this is good, this is good. Then you come to the nose parts and you do this part. You brighten this part a little bit to give it structure, to just enhance the structure of the image and gives it depth and not make your image flat. So you brighten this part because there's light there. Brighten the part. Brighten this part because there's a light bouncing there. And this, yeah, this is good. Yeah, the chin, and here too there's lights here, and these little parts in the lip. You work on the lip too. Very good. Nose properly. This is good. This is the before. This is the after. Before, after. Okay, I think we're doing a good job. So let's move to this place. Every part that you see is light. We just use dodge to work on it a little bit. Oh, okay. Get to. Okay, so this is good. Let me just do this a little bit again. And this a little bit. Then we move to the bone. For the bone, the dark parts is what we burn. So we'll just give the image like a dimension, increase the bone, increase the dodge. So for this bone, you can see that I'm targeting the dark parts. The deep part is giving it depth. So let me show you before and after for the bone. So you can see this is very good, not too much effect on it. Very, very good. So Okay, so let's hide the black and white layer, and we do this. This is good. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So if you feel like it's too much, you can always reduce the opacity. I will leave the opacity as 100. So you can turn on back the frequency separation. You can see before and the after. You see what we have. So this is how far we have come from here to here. Frequency separation, dodge and burn. So you can reduce it if you want. This is good by me. Alright, so also for the frequency separation, you can also add extra spice for the texture of the image. This is what I'm talking about. So now we have already used the mixer brush and also use the Gaussian blur. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now you just select a part of the skin. Let me zoom in. So select a part of the skin. Let's say this is the forehead. In order for you to have a smoother take that back. In order for you to have a smoother skin, now I'm going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Now look at this. The first initial time it was on 5, but now I'm going to increase it a little bit. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? No. So I'm going to put it on 15. This is 5. This is 5. Then this is 15. Can you see the difference? This is just smoothing the effects that we had on it. So I'm just going to do it for some part of the skin, not all the part of the skin though. So I'll just right click and click on Gaussian blur. It's going to give me the same setting I use. You can see there's a smoothing part that is doing. There's a smoothing effect that you are having on it. Right click and Gaussian blur. Can you see that? So I'm going to do it here too. Gaussian blur. You see that? See the transition at this place? Very clean now. Transition is very clean. So we can now continue from where we stopped. So dodge and bone. So the next step is to whiten the teeth and the eyes. In order for us to do that, we have to create 2 layers, the hue and saturation layer and the photo filter using the cooling filter 82. So the first thing is to create the hue and saturation layer. You click on the hue and saturation area. You can also find it here, and you can also click on it here. That's it. So we'll work on the yellows and reduce the saturation to the end, -100, and increase the lightness to the beginning, and you close this. And the next thing for us to do is to create the photo filter layer. And once we do this, we are going to change the filter to cooling filter 82, and we're going to close it. And we're going to create a group, both the photo filter and the hue and saturation filter. So you click on the next, and you Ctrl G to change the group. So this is going to be teeth and eyes, or you can create separate layers, one for the teeth and one for the eyes. So I'll just do teeth and eyes. Make sure that your progression is arranged so that you can easily go back and undo some stuff. And I'm going to create a layer mask over this group. Click on the layer mask and invert it. Ctrl I to invert. And then we're going to click on our brush and paint over. So what I do is that when I'm painting the teeth, I usually keep the flow at 70. Then when I'm painting the eyes, I leave it at 100. So for the teeth, make sure that your foreground is on white, and then you paint. now is for us to color grade the image, and we're going to be using a selective color and hue and saturation and color balance to color grade. So first of all, I'll use the selective color. I'll go to the adjustments layer and I'll click on selective color. Then I want to work on the red first. I can just push this. You can see the effects of this on the skin, but it's too much. So if you go this way, see how it is here. Then if you reduce it, the blacks, see how it is here. Then if you increase the blacks, see the effect. So I'll just brighten the picture a little bit. So this is the before and the after. This is the before and the after. Before, after, before, after. Okay, so this is good like this, just to brighten the skin a little bit. I'll leave this out, name this as skin, so that I won't mix them. The next one I'm going to do is for the background. So the background is on green. I want to change the background. I don't like the background color, so I want to look for something that goes well. I can use this. Okay, let me check. Okay, then for the yellows, okay, I reduce the yellow in the green, and I have this. So I think I like this better. I like this better. It flows with the dress. It flows with the dress. So I'm going to use this for this, and this is for the background. And then let me just use color balancing. Just add a little red. Just add a little red. Guys, you might need to reduce the red, so you can reduce the red from here. Also, you can also use hue and saturation and go to red and reduce it too. This one, now, as you're reducing it, you're adding more cyan, so you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. So if I want to increase the red, you can see. So I think this is good. Then add blues too if you want to add blues, but I'm not doing that. So I will just increase the red small. I think this is good. So also, in case you want to reduce the red, you can also use your hue and saturation and click on you can just use this finger to, when you click on it, when it's on it, you see this selective tool, and once you click on the skin, it's going to show you red because we have more reds on the screen, on the skin. So you can reduce it from here. You can pop it here too. Also, you can see. So, and also from here to here. But I'm not using this place. So in case you have a melanin image, a dark skin model, you can always just darken it more and more here too. And you can also use selective colors to do that, but I'm not doing any of that here. I'm just going to, let me reduce the red a little bit just for editing sake. Okay, this is okay. Let me add a little bit of vibrance. Let me group all this together. So I'm just going to highlight from here to here, shift and click, and I'll press Ctrl G to group, and I'll name this colors or color grading. This is the before and the after. So this is just a very quick way to edit your pictures. So I hope you learned one or two things from this video, and please subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.